I knew you could take off two airplanes, but not at the same time in the altitude. Well, we saw the G6s do it, at least they were going the same direction. Straight toward each other at over 300 miles an hour. Oh, that was close. That was And to the right is Michael Goulian, ladies and gentlemen. From the greater Boston area, Michael Goulian's going to fly extra well today. His mom is in the audience. Rita is here. So Michael's got to do an extra special job to make mom happy. He's going to do half human egg reversals, climbing up to 45 and a 5/8 loop on the backside. As they come back towards each other at show center to the left is Michael Mancuso, and to the right, Michael Goulian. And they are heading right towards. If they get past each other at show center, and they did. Proud sponsor of Michael Mancuso, flying his German-built Extra 300L. Going into the vertical, Mike Goulian to the left, goes into a knife-edge spin, lets that fall off into a dive with rolls on her to the backside. Another tumbling maneuver at the top of Michael Mancuso's fly. Mancuso doing a little tumble on the way up and a snapper on the way up, snapper on the way down as he exits altitude. You think these guys are trying to outdo each other? You know, I get that impression. I think this is kind of, oh yeah, watch this. Let's see what happens next. Here comes Michael Mancuso. Okay, back on the stick, he's climbing into the vertical, and he's starting a roll. Now, multiple rolls, and a little snapper with oh, look at this tumble at the top of that. Flipping off the top, it's upside down. He dives the airplane right back down towards show center once again. Nice little tumble in the vertical climb. Smoke system off. Let's see if Mike... High end to the left, dive again on the 45. Look for him to roll on that 45-degree outline, consecutive rolls. Notice how sharp and crisp every point is on the rolls that Michael Goulian performs in the CAP 232. And that's where he's drawing on his competition background. The former U.S. National Aerobatic Champion, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, a member of 3 World Aerobatic teams going into the vertical and rolling. As he goes into a knife-edge spin at the top of that, the airplane going into the flat spin now, keeping the power on, raising the nose. That propeller screaming, trying to bite some air. The wing is generating a lot of rudder. He recovers from the flat spin and dives away Michael Goulian in the CAP 232. Now, we expected Michael Mancuso was watching that. He said, well, that was pretty good. Let's see if we can top that with something else. He says, no, let's tumble the airplane nose over tail right at show center. And right underneath is Michael Mancuso. Tiny little loop that he made out there. Here goes Michael Mancuso into the vertical. Continuing to track the nose on through the vertical and on up over the top. Airplane was on the side. Now he tumbles off the top of this half loop. Power coming back on, continuing to tumble the airplane and stopping it exactly, precisely where he chooses to. Looks like he's out of control as he's tumbling the airplane, but no, it's going to be complete control. As unnatural as this looks for the airplane, it's equally unnatural for the pilot who's strapped in so tight he can hardly breathe. That is true, but he can breathe and does do that well. This German-built airplane with its American built over in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Proudly displayed on the other side of those wings, or on the top side of those wings. A family that's been in the tool business, family owned since 1857. As Michael Mancuso climbs out away from us, I think Mike Goulian's about to pick up his line on show center from high to the right. Michael Goulian, at 34 years of age, he's achieved pretty much every height that a aerobatic pilot could ever want to achieve. As U.S. National Aerobatic Champion. Ranked as one of the top aerobatic pilots in the world in his last world competition. Corkscrewing down with consecutive snap rolls. Over 240 miles an hour at the bottom of that dive. Using the incredible roll rate of that CAP 232 to his advantage. Watch him as he starts and slides at the top of this half loop and then tumbles nose over tail, finally recovering nose down with consecutive rolls, diving back in on show center as he pulls into the vertical just across from us now. Watch this. He takes the airplane straight from the sky, skids to the right, then to the left. The airplane hanging on the propeller, but watch what he does now as he does a very tight three-quarter outside loop from standing still in the air at the Rhode Island Airshow.
And coming back quickly from the right is Michael Mancuso in his extra 300L. Got lots of energy. Let's see what he does with that. Oh, very fast. Well over 200 miles. Holds the nose on the plate. Now he pulls that nose on up through the vertical, taking a vertical line. Let's watch and see what happens now. He's got the airplane rolling using the flight controls, but now the engine takes over and is twisting the extra right around itself. He's performing the torque roll, the torque of the engine twisting the airplane as he flies backwards, right down through his own smoke, stopping it into a tail slide. Diving out of the tail slide with a snap roll and a flip. Wagging his tail for you under complete control. Most airplanes would get up there and run out of airspeed and stall from the sky. But not this extra 300. Now here comes Michael Goulian.
That's the right. 2 of 4. Then rolls to the left. On that vertical line, exactly 90 degrees, perfectly perpendicular. Another tumbling maneuver from the knife edge, finally recovering from that. As the world goes around so fast, he can hardly tell what he's looking at. As he picks up the show center, compensates for the little bit of wind drift that we have again here today. And a very nice returning, it'll get it over 200 miles an hour. He is at 7 times his body weight being pressed into the seat of that little bitty airplane right now, sustaining those G's all the way through the turn.
Got that big composite propeller really turning, really making a good time.
It is screaming for all it's worth today.
And here comes Michael Mancuso in from the left once again. Rolling upside down and back up right now. As he performs the forward one presentation roll. And look at how quickly that rolls. Over 400 degrees per second rate of rotation. I'm glad that balloon drifted away there, Ren. I thought we were going to have some Frank Luke balloon busters there.
Exactly. Diving in on show center again. Looks like we're setting up a bit of a squirrel cage with the pilots following each other. Michael Goulian in the lead now. The Jet 232 smoke on right down on the show line. Rolling on the 45-degree upline. And he says, let's tumble the airplane nose up until look at the tremendous amount of rudder he's got in that maneuver. The rudder being the fin on the very tail of the airplane, controlled by the pilot's feet.
Here's Michael Mancuso touching down on runway 34, and I think Michael Goulian is going to turn the airplane around and touch down coming toward him. Now you will see both of these performers later on in a full performance, full demonstration of the capabilities of this aircraft. The extra 300L being followed by Michael Mancuso. He's exiting the runway now. This is the Klein Tools extra 300L, and as he taxies by, you may notice that the words Klein Tools are written upside down on the side of the fuselage. That's because that airplane spends most of its time in the air in the upside down position. Michael Goulian has landed, and he's going to join up with Michael Mancuso, and Mike and Michael will be taxiing down in front of you momentarily.
He held that tail high because, as you can see from his position in the cockpit, once the tail is on the ground, his forward visibility is highly restricted due to the nose of the aircraft as he looks around that big Lycoming IO 540 engine that injected 540 cubic inch, making 300 plus horsepower to drive that composite propeller you referred to just a moment ago.
And you pilots here in the crowd, having understood what Red was just saying about not being able to see where you're taxiing, when you're landing, you kind of glance out at the runway out in front of you. Well, that disappears too, and there's not much to look at from where they sit way behind these wings, because the wings get in the way. So it's the skill and experience of these pilots that they kind of know where the runway